Hi, I'm Loy Gross with the Learning Center at Genesee Community College. In this video, I want to talk to you about memorizing your multiplication and division facts in 5 easy steps. Okay, so tip 1 is to use a table. Some students like to see a multiplication table, and having the numbers organized in this fashion can help your brain make relationships between the numbers that it might not otherwise make. Some students like to use an L-shaped paper cutout so that they can focus on one line at a time. And I've included down here at the bottom a URL where you can download multiplication tables that you can print. Tip 2 is to build knowledge one line at a time. Let's not try and attack that entire table all at once. Start with the ones. Any number times 1 is itself. 5 times 1 is 5, 8 times 1 is 8, and so on. The ones are pretty easy. Once you've got those down, any number times 2 is doubled. And many of us can think of doubling in our heads. So 5 times 2 is 10, 8 times 2 is 16, 6 times 2 is 12. We do this fairly easily, and that's a nice next step. Once you have those memorized, well, any number times 3 is the doubled number, and then add one more. So 5 times 3 is 5 doubled, which is 10, plus one more 5 for 15. 8 times 3 is 8 doubled, which is 16, plus one more 8 is 24, and so on. You work on your 3's. Working on your 4's, it's just the doubled number, and double it again. So 5 times 4 is 5 doubled is 10, double it again to get 20. 8 times 4 is 8 doubled for 16, double it again to get 32, and that's a good way to memorize your 4's. Now 5 is a little bit different, but most of us can skip count by 5. If you can't, it's a pretty easy thing to work on. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on. And if you can skip count in your 5's, you can figure out what the multiple is just by figuring out which value in the skip count it is. So for example, 5 times 7 is the 7th value in our skip count. And if you count along here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 7th value in our skip count is 35. 5 times 7 is 35. And that'll help you memorize your 5's. Well, let's talk about 6, 7, and 8. 6, 7, and 8 is a struggle for many of our students. So there's a hand trick that I like to show. Here's my hands. I'm going to raise the number of fingers above 5. I'm going to add and then multiply. So let's do 6 times 7. Okay, so here's 6. 5, 6. Here's 7. 5, 6, 7. Okay, I have some fingers up and I have some fingers down. I will add the fingers up, and that's my tens place, 30, because I have 3 fingers up. I'm going to multiply the fingers that are down. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 and 30 is 42. 6 times 7 is 42. This hand trick will work for all numbers 6, 7, and 8. Practice it a few times, you'll get it down, and then you have your 6s, 7s, and 8s. The 9s follow a pattern. 1 times 9 is 9. You notice I put a 0 in front. There's a reason for that. 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times 9 is 27. The answer, the tens value of the answer, is always 1 less than the multiplier. So 3 minus 1 is 2. When I think of 3 times 9, the first digit is going to be a 2. What's the second digit going to be? Well, these two digits add to make 9. 0 plus 9 is 9. 1 plus 8 is 9. 2 plus 7 is 9. Works all the way through the 9's. Once you have that pattern down, it's pretty easy to figure out what the 9's are. So now let's talk about fact families, our third tip. When you think about facts in terms of fact families, you're actually learning 4 facts all at the same time. So you can memorize all 4 facts on the left, and that's one way to do it. But if you memorize this relationship over here on the right, you've learned all 4 of those facts in one step. 12 times 2 is 24, 2 times 12 is 24, 24 divided by 12 is 2, and 24 divided by 2 is 12. If you think of the relationship in that way, you're really supercharging your learning by learning all 4 facts off of just one. Our next tip is to practice every day. Find a habit that you do, something you do every single day, and practice your math facts during that time. Tape a multiplication table to your bathroom mirror and brush your teeth while you read it. Whatever it is that works for you, the point is to practice for a short time every day rather than trying to cram all at once. And our fifth tip is to use retrieval practice. Now, what is retrieval practice? Well, I can read that multiplication table all day, but the best way to learn is to take that multiplication table and flip it over so I can't see it and challenge myself to come up with the answers. What's 12 times 3 again? And try and pull that answer or retrieve that answer out of my brain. It's much harder than rereading. The reason it's harder is because it's working. You are learning those facts. And that's 5 easy steps to memorizing your multiplication facts. If you have any questions, email us at tutoring@genesee.edu.